Good morning. It is 9:28 a.m. on Sunday, November 24th, 2019. I'm recording this from Colorado, so it's mountain time. This is 5 more minutes. So I made it to Colorado just fine, with the brief caveat that I apparently forgot my glasses, which is not optimal. I mean, I can make do. I have my contact lenses, but the simple fact that in most of these videos I have my glasses on is just because my normal routine is that putting my contact lenses in is one of the first things that I usually do before, going somewhere. Or rather, one of the last things I do before leaving, right? And so I don't usually put them in right away. But so I'm farsighted, and so what that means is that when I don't have my glasses, I can get around a room just fine. No worries at all. I can talk to people, I can do all of that. What I can't really do is like see things on my phone, read a book, that sort of thing. So it could be worse, but it's not like I could imagine some people being in a position where not having your glasses means you can't see well enough to put your contact lenses in, like to go where you need to go and get your contact lenses to put them in. That would be more of a problem. Also, there was a brief delay getting my checked bag at the airport because one of the bags coming out had a big loopy strap, which checked bags are really not supposed to do that. And it got caught on something and it briefly obstructed. And so it stops the other bags coming in. And a guy jumped up and unstuck it very quickly, but it was too late. The thing had stopped, and then that meant it had to sit there for 15 minutes until someone could come and push a button. So, yeah. But, these things happen. It's not a big deal. Just minor little technical issues seem to be plaguing me, though, so right now, for example, I'm recording this video on my phone, which is sitting on top of my laptop, which is trying to update my video software. It's one of those things, you start up the software and it says, oh, there's an update available, and I'm like, well, I technically don't need the update to do what I need to do, but I might as well do it now. Cut to 20 minutes later and it's still trying to update. It's fine. It's fine. So, I made it here. I haven't really, gone up to make any plans today. I don't think we have anything specifically decided yet, but might try to connect with my brother and sister-in-law, maybe go see my little niece who's 8 months old now. That's exciting. I think she's almost 9 months now, actually. I'm trying to remember what her birthday is, and I forget. Oh, well. That's kind of on the agenda. On the flight out, I spent the flight reading a book. It's a tabletop RPG called Ironsworn, and I heard about it because Adam Coble, who's a YouTuber and streamer who does a lot of stuff in the tabletop space, had recommended it, did a first look, and said it was really cool. And so now, having read it myself, I can confirm it also is very cool. Just flavor-wise, it's kind of Viking-themed, sort of, a little bit Norse, sort of sword and sorcery type stuff, but although it is cool, that's not really what I mean when I say the game is cool. One of the things that I've been becoming increasingly aware of in a game design sense is that if you want to know what sorts of things will happen in a game, you have to look at what do the game mechanics reward you for doing. And that's because that's what people are, people want to advance their character, so they're gonna they want to advance their character, so they're going to try to do the things that lead to that, right? And so in this game, the way you advance is you swear an iron vow, which is just, it's sort of a code of honor sort of thing. But then when you fulfill that vow, you get experience points based on it. And it tracks it all. It abstracts it with a little progress tracker that you sort of have go hand in hand with the actual narrative fiction. But the idea is that you might have an epic vow where there's not even necessarily a gameplay expectation that you will ever actually complete it, because you might have to do a whole campaign to do that. But even if you're not playing that whole campaign, the idea that there's this thing back in the background that you occasionally make progress on, that, it still informs the character, right? But then the idea is that while in principle you're moving forward on those epic quests, you are occasionally taking on new, smaller ones. Like, your epic journey is that you have to take the sacred relic to these far distant lands, and it takes a long time to get there. But while you're traveling through, you hit some bad weather and you need to resupply in this next little town, and you go into the town and you see that, they would love to help you, but right now they're actually starving because the supplies that they usually trade from this other town have been getting attacked by a wyvern. And then you're like, oh, well, how about this? I'll swear an iron vow to go kill that wyvern if you guys promise to, to help me out afterwards. And they're like, yeah, okay. And so then you do this smaller, less epic iron vow and quest, and then when you fulfill that, you get a little more experience, so you're a little tougher making your way to the next one. And I think that's kind of a cool way to do it. I mean, in some ways it's not all that dissimilar from the idea of XP, but it just ties that XP directly to accomplishing things and not just randomly killing stuff. So you could fart around doing whatever you want, but if it's not connected to a vow that you've sworn, it doesn't really count. I think that's kind of cool. I'm probably going to talk more about that game because it has a solo mode, which is also really cool. So I'll probably do one of those on stream at some point. But right now, this week, I'm here in Colorado. So I'm going to leave it there for right now, and I'll talk to you all tomorrow for 5 more minutes.